Well, as we're sitting here on Tuesday afternoon, February 25th, year 2025, here with the Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Show. And I need to do a few things here because I don't like this frame here, so give me a second. Okay, I think that's much better. And just to mention again that we're sitting here on Tuesday afternoon, February 25th, year 2025, here with the Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of the Hello Show and, of course, public access. And the Hello Show has been on the air since 1980, and, of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, Francis, and then, of course, the likes of you out there to make it your business to enhance and fortify this concept called public access. And of course, the definition that goes along with that, which gives us any kind that will compose and construct and put together a description of that feeling, it will be viable and loyal to the source of it, which is, let's just say, I don't ever recall seeing someone that's sad because he has too much freedom to express his opinions and speak up his mind. So there's a guarantee when you're in the proximity of that which is all about the liberties, taking the liberty, expression, and so much more. And then, of course, on top of it, hopefully, you will have something to say, because not all people find themselves out there speaking and sharing and all that just because they have the right to do that. You gotta know a thing or two before you approach them, you, us, we, life, everything. So you better have some kind of experience, some kind of maybe just the right amount of tools and equipment and just plain and simple capability that can adapt itself and attach itself to that concept called public access. And public access, it really is, when you have access in the hands of the public, that means it's good news. That means society can thrive, society can live up to the expectations that the concept through which it operates and functions is all about, really that. And when you need to feed the system, you're probably by then an expert cook, chef that knows all the ingredients that balance out the roughness of the mood change. The mood changes when it comes to opening an avenue to a discussion that has something to do with, again, I hate to be sounding cliche by saying democracy and freedom of speech, and but it is all about it. I mean, it's no every time you're trying to bypass it or to choose an alternative composition to be more accurate in how you're expressing yourself and what kind of an explanation you put in place in order to make people aware that this is the journey we're going to, if you were to join me, this is the journey that we're going to have to encounter and to conquer and to then let go for it to be on its own and to exercise generosity, but not stupidity, because, too much generosity can get you to that kind of void and emptiness. So, at least that you will know that you have the basics to keep things going, also. And then also, when you're gonna up in that ladder of meaningfulness, you realize that incredible, great, substantial things can happen uh, uh, very quickly and very effortlessly, and then you realize actually that you didn't really need as much as you thought that you did. Public access is a wonderful source, through which you can um, deliver a release to the clusteredness of your source of inspiration, and once, uh, in order for people like 190, 80 years ago, for people to sit around and start talking about their experiences as artists, there was no really point of reference even though each knew about each other, who they are and what they're all about, and what kind of respect they gain in the eyes of the rest of the people that they choose to keep company with. Um, there was very limited uh, progress because very few points of reference that were available. Technology was not the technology that we have today, that it lends itself to every aspect of our desire and decision making process, and talent and desires and um, willingness, and the ability to cope, and to know what it takes, and to be willing to sacrifice, because it is, even if everything works well, it's still a sacrifice, because usually you have to give up um, on things that are very close to your heart and very precious. But then you realize there's so many precious things awaits you out there that you better think twice before you start declaring your sorrow or disappointment or sadness because you weren't traveling as fast that you did not achieve yet and break through in order to find yourself on a level C instead of B. And B plus is not good enough. And then when it comes to that, actually, the higher you go with the letters, the better the achievement is. But we don't want to face a grade that spells C, but we want to, if we were to actually try to reach up and and show ourselves the way to the peak, to the summit. And we know for sure, without any doubt, that whatever it is that awaits us there is good natured, is good by nature. So there's no second guessing. There's a desire to just not leave anything to chance, really, even though it sounds boring, but sometimes it's essential. And the definition, again, as I started by saying, definition is a is the uh, I think I wrote something about it. Let's see if I can get it. Um, 1 second. Okay, let's see. Maybe it's there. Okay. Almost there. Yeah, I'm just completing this sentence here. Yeah, shape of storytelling poetry. Mm. So which one is it that I'm going to? I'm going to invite. Let's see if I can say. Mm, okay, so it will be. Uh, Start with this segment. Okay. And there is a way to expedite and expand in the way that the actual rhythm and structure and durability and attention to details by way of allowing oneself the decency of accumulation and creating enough experience and I should say enough of quality experience and recollections and photographic memory into the equation of using material on seconds notice in order to either expedite or generate or um, tolerate and in addition to that initiate. So there is a without any doubt a long hesitation in the gaps that you so uh, uh, so what is uh, storytelling poetry. Poem as a base for it, make it long. To make it long, let's see. Okay, so let's see what it's. The telling stands before the knowing, and there's a way to expedite and expand, a way that does not ask for permission. Um, let's see what we got here. Yeah, and there's the minimum amount required to pass the test that will allow you to show your face in that vicinity where everything happens. including things that are important for you and to you. And um, there's a way to expedite and expand, a way that does not ask for permission, a way that rides from the depth of recall, where rhythm is not borrowed but built, where structure is not measured but felt. Once there was a woman who held words in her hands like wet clay, shaping, reshaping, breaking them apart before they could dry into something fixed. She did not trust the stillness of things because she knew that stillness could be an illusion, a body waiting to be woken, a silence ready to crack. She walked through the world, gathering, noticing the way a child calls, Mama, not just for need, but for the echo, for the assurance that the voice meets something solid. The way a city hums at night, even when no one is listening. The way absence carves itself into presence. How what is missing can shape what is still here. And there's a way to contract and to compress, to take what is sprawling, what is endless in its possibility, and funnel it through the skin, the thin skin, and the thin channel of a single moment. She learned this in the weight of her own body, in the stretch of time against skin, in the mirror that did not tell her what she wanted, but what she simply there, but what was simply there, and what was there, and what was there, a history that did not beg to be rewritten, but to be seen, a voice that no longer feared its own echo, a rhythm that did not ask for approval, but stood in its own knowing. Once she painted in silence, then in noise, then in something between the two, a rhythm neither fully heard nor fully imagined, but felt. The canvas did not demand explanation, the paint did not require an apology, and yet there was always someone who wanted the story made easier, flattened into something digestible, into something they could swallow without it catching in their throat. But the telling does not wait for clarity. It moves in fragments and wholeness, in absences and sudden illuminations. It demands breath. It demands weight. And there's a way to expedite and expand, to move faster than understanding, to trust that the body will know before the mind catches up. She learned this in poetry, in the shape of words before meaning, in the act of creating before certainty, in the act of creating before certainty. There was a night when she stood before a room full of strangers, each waiting for a story, each expecting a conclusion before the story had even begun. She opened her mouth, and for a moment there was nothing, a space, a breath, a silence so thick it could be touched. And then the words arrived like rain hitting dry earth, like getting both new and inevitable, like something both new, like something both new and inevitable. And the telling was this: not an explanation, not an offering of ease, but a confrontation, a collision, a remembering and an undoing. She did not make it simple. She did not make it easy. She did not let it shrink for the sake of comfort. And when she was finished, when the last word fell into place, the room did not rush to fill the silence, because the weight of what was spoken still lingered in the air. And there's a way to let a thing breathe, to let it echo against the walls before sealing it in stone. And in the telling, in the shape of the telling, was the proof of what had already been known. So, this is a manipulation of 2 or 3 poems that I wrote that I had to kind of pick and choose because it was just too poetic and too poetically correct. Not that I have anything against it, but I've written thousands of poetically correct poems. Uh, so I wanted to feel. So this is beyond my ability. I mean, I cannot indulge in doing that so often. It takes a lot for me to write this short, supposedly pretty good piece, because I pre-established the contents that upon which I will build a storytelling poetry. Um, and, and then there's the opposite of this. Uh, okay, here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so the the unspoken slips away. The unspoken slips away, and there's a way to delay and diminish, a way that requires hesitation. Now, this is the opposite of what I read. That material of storytelling poetry, not that you remember. I mean, it's a lot of information, but anyway. So now I write exactly the same material, but in complete opposition. I took it and I wrote it in opposition, as an opposite to what. And there's a way to delay and diminish, a way that requires hesitation, a way that waits for permission before moving, where rhythm is borrowed and structure imposed, where memory is blurred before it can sharpen. Once there was a woman who learned words in her hands, as if they were glass too thin to hold, as if shaping them would shatter what little remained. She let them sit untouched, let them fade before they could form. That silence was protection. She walked through the world forgetting, ignoring the way a child calls mama. But the sound dissolves before it reaches anyone. The way a city falls silent at night, not humming but hollow. The way absence stretches wider than presence until nothing is left to touch. And there's a way to stretch and dissolve, to take what is clear, what is firm in its existence, and let it slip away like smoke in a wind too strong. She learned this in the weight of her own body, in the way time disappeared when she looked too closely in the mirror that did not show her what was, but what had already faded. And what had faded? A history that softened into dust, a voice that did not trust itself enough to be heard, and rhythm that weaved and shrank, apologizing for taking up space. Once she painted in noise, then in silence, then in something between the two, but not the kind that carried weight. The carves begged for form, the paint for direction, but hesitation won. And yet there was always someone who assured the story was being told, even when she had given them nothing. But the telling does not come when it is held back. It fractures under pressure, dissolves under scrutiny, collapses before it can stand. It cannot bear breath. It cannot bear weight. And there's a way to delay and diminish, to want too long for understanding, to wait too long for understanding, to distrust the body's knowing, to silence a thought before it reaches the air. She learned this in poetry. In the space where words should have been, in the ache of something not created, there was a night when she stood before a room full of strangers, each waiting for a story, each expecting a conclusion that she had not written. She opened her mouth, and for a moment there was everything, a pause, a breath, a silence so thick it could be broken. And then nothing. The words did not come. They stayed lodged between ribs, hidden behind doubt, too fragile to survive the air. And the unspoken was this, not a declaration, not an unraveling, but a retreat, a surrender, a forgetting, and an eraser. And an eraser. She let it remain simple. She let it remain easy. She let it shrink for the sake of comfort. And when the moment passed, when the silence caved in on itself, the room moved on, unbothered by what was lost, because the weight of what was never spoken did not linger. And there is a way to let the thing vanish, to let it disappear before it even forms, to let it slip away unnoticed. And in the silence, in the absence of the feeling and of the telling, was the proof of what had already been forgotten. So this is the opposite of what I did before that. It's minute but substantial and very meaningful. And I took these two and I combined it into something that is eerily, um, eerily, um, eerily. What do I want to say? Eerily. I don't want to say. What's the word? I cannot believe I lost the word. Um, Progressive. I guess I can say progressive, but it's more like new age. It's like, let's see. So this is. Let me look if I can retrieve it. Um, Modern, modernistic. In a modern, wait, what was it? In a modern experimental approach. But my poor chocolate is wonders how come I ignore it so much. Hmm. The telling stands before knowing. It's amazing how you can write so greatly without really having thinking that you need to have certain set of skills, even though of course you do. I don't consider myself as a professional writer, but I can consider myself as someone who can write, really, and therefore writes. So this is these two worlds. Um, the other is the opposite. The unspoken slips away. Okay. The telling stands before the knowing. And use minimum. Yeah, okay. That's experimental, bringing the two together. But still, nevertheless, you can find yourself actually writing some really incredible things. Things that people would love to hear or to read. So the telling stands before the knowing. And there's a way to expedite, to expand a burst of light in a dark corridor where words ignite, collide, becoming sparks that fracture the silence. Memory is a digital collage and of pixelated collections gathered in moments assembled on the fly, a spontaneous architecture of vivid, uncontained now. She drifts through the urban hum collecting stray voices, snippets of neon confessions that refuse to be muted, each syllable a dark spark in a riot of raw cadence. This is not explanation, but an uncharted encounter, a, a chaotic mosaic where fragments of lived seconds assemble into a pulse, a heartbeat too urgent to pause. Lines shatter and rebuild. Pauses bloom like a unscripted jazz. Each breath a revolution, etched in the language of unyielded immediacy, the telling that stands before the knowing, a manifesto of unbridled truth. The second one will be the unspoken slips away, and there's a way to delay, to, to diminish, a quiet surrender into shadow where words curl inward, like soft smoke evaporating before they can form. Memory fades into burnt reflections, a half-remembered scene lost in the static of a forgotten screen, each fragment dissolving into the nothingness of unexpressed time. She wanders. She wanders through muted spaces, discarding voices like old echoes that never find their edge, leaving behind a hollow hum where absence weighs heavy. This is not a confrontation, but a gentle retreat, a slow unraveling of sound into silent, empty gaps. Each moment unfeathered, drifting away like a whispered regret. The structure collapses, lines fragment into soft voids, pauses stretch into vast nothing, a silent testament to the art of disappearance, the unspoken slipping quietly away into the oblivion of might have beens. So, and then, of course, let's see if I can make it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let me just mention that we're sitting here on Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Tuesday, February 25th, year 2000. And wait, what's going on here? Is that. Yeah, I guess it works. Yes, it works. Yeah. And okay. So, um, and yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon, February 25th, year 2025, here with the Hello Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi. Also, to mention to you that we are still having this solo exhibition, My Life, Your Life, through the second week of March. And then I'm going to break into early spring with this wonderful, wonderful group show, small group, 5 artists, black and white. It's called Let Alone, titled Let Alone. We're going to have Bob Sullivan, we're going to have Josephine Wustershak, we're going to have Jody Gambino, we're going to have Chris LeCoeur, and who else? And Fanny Lin, and myself included. It should be really fun. And I'm counting on that March 22nd, Saturday, March 22nd for the opening, 4 to 7. But of course, we'll have the chance to let you know numerous times between now and then. But in the meantime, as I said, there's a wonderful solo exhibition titled My Life, Your Life. You're all welcome, of course, to come here to LTV. Um, so what I'm doing is Okay. Okay, let's see if we can make it happen. This is this pathetic phone. I call it pathetic, but it's not, of course. 256 gigabyte for a phone. I think it's just like insane. So doesn't matter how much I write and how much I store. It's just the phone like is making fun of me, like as if mocking me. And I'm trying to overwhelm it by a quantity, you know. So I don't know. That in itself. Wait. No, I don't want that. Okay. And this one here. Okay, wonderful. So now I would want to say, um, uh, my writing. Um, Composition that I have. Okay, let's see what it says. Whether it's gonna find it in the system. Oh yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's see if it. Okay. Okay. So man, it's so difficult to. Okay, let's see if it can retrieve it now. So that's almost. Okay. So that's that. I indulge in a reality where every medium borrows from another, and I have three mediums, major, more than three, but three major, Um, Music, poetry, and painting. And this is too delicious. Oh my god. Mm. Okay, so I'm gonna end up with this. Mm. Rhythm of memory telling. Accelerate the memory. Um, there's a way to expedite and expand, building moments like bricks from a photographic land, collecting every echo, every fleeting refrain, turning raw experience into legacy again and again. I'm rolling through days like pages in a diary, accumulated memories, a storm of visionary artistry. Every second, every heartbeat, a snapshot in time, layered like an urban collage, intricate and prime. Let the rhythm guide my pulse, unfiltered and pure, collecting high-res recollections that forever endure in the city's neon haze where thoughts expand and contract. I capture like yeah, life's flux. No detail ever gets left intact. I'm spitting coded verses decoded through life's reflection, a matrix of raw emotions stitched in lyrical connection. There's a way to expedite and expand, building moments like bricks from a photographic land, collecting every echo, every fleeting refrain, turning raw experience into legacy again and again. Accelerate the flow, let the words cascade like rain, mixing chaos with cadence, breaking every chain. I'm channeling every late night thought, every vision and that intrudes, transforming, scattering to structure and lyrical interludes, from whispered secrets in dark alleys to big flashbulb glows. My mind's a canvas where past and present endlessly compose, each line a testament to survival, a blueprint of hard-earned insight, every bar a bridge from the depths of memory to the dawning light. I'm pushing through the static, refining pain into art, where every moment's an accumulation that sets my truth apart. In the rapid spin of time, I find my clarity in this array, a mosaic of misfits and moments that refuse to fade away. Let the best carry the weight of every recollection and every scar, 'cause in this wrap of life, every story becomes a shining star. Now the cadence as it climbs a pulse that never quits. I'm architecting a legacy from the grit in my fingertips. Words like constellations scattered across the midnight sky, mapped by the mind's eye, each star a memory that won't die. I'm bringing eras with my flow, merging yesterday with today, letting the weight of experience guide every word I say. This is more than just rap. It's a journey through which recorded breath, an endless loop of growth and truth, defying the silence of death. I accelerate the memory. Every moment's power redefined, transforming fleeting fragments into a rhythm that's forever mine. There's a way to expedite and expand, building moments like bricks from a photographic island land. Every echo, every beat resounds in this immortal frame. We rise by remembering, and in that truth, we reclaim our name. So it's I I thought that maybe yeah, I think that it should be uh, just one last thing. Okay, this will put a cap into it. Let's see if it's gonna. Uh, Grand finale: echoes of the drowned in the shadowed depth where memories reside. Whispers of the past in currents glide. Faces blurred beneath the water's veil. Each ripple carries tales of love and loss, dreams submerged beneath the uh, albatross. The weight of history anchors to the soul, a drowning pool that never lets us go. Oh, the drowned voices call from the depth where shadows fall, their stories etched in liquid pain. In the abyss they remain. Breathe beneath the surface where light fades to gray, lies a world where forgotten sorrows play. Hands that reached but never found the shore. Hearts that beat but are no more the lullaby of the deep in a mournful tone. For souls drift forever alone. In the cold embrace of the ocean's grasp, they linger on in an endless lapse. Oh, the drowned voices call from the depths where shadows fall, their stories etched in liquid pain, in the abyss they remain. Listen close to the ocean's sigh, hear the echoes of those who lie beneath the waves in silent rows, their secrets only the deep sea knows. We talk, the shores, oblivion to the cries of those uh, entombed beneath the tides, yet in the stillness, if we dare to hear the drowned voices whisper near, a reminder of the fragility we bear, of lives lost to the water's snare, and their stories, a reflection cast of our own fate intertwined and vast. Oh, the drowned voices call from the depths where the shadows fall, their stories etched in liquid pain, in the abyss they remain. So let us need the lessons told by the drowned in the waters cold, for in their echoes we may find a path to save our own confined. Yeah, That's pretty good. Let's see. Okay, so wait. So what I'm trying to say really is that the motion that takes us down and up and up and down, from this way to that way, from that way to this way, from this direction to that direction, a kind of loop of kind of an infinity motion, ongoingly reminding us that everything is very visible, like a piano. Even if you can't play, you can definitely make your own composition because it's just there in front of you, ready for your touch. And now, second uh, stage, we need to realize how far you want to go and how far you're willing to take it from the moment that you realize that it's just staring you in the face to the moment where you dare to do something that you're not so sure what it is or will be, but very comfortably and very happily and very balancedly. And so that's a good feeling, to say the least. And that's what we're trying to do here at LTV. And at LTV, it's all about taking the edge of things and just play, maybe in pleasantly, civilly intimidating the surface so it can be encouraged to swim to shore because we are there in the shore waiting for it, as we promised that we will always be there to help and to aid the needy, and hoping that maybe one day we need that which we so abundantly give away now as we can, that maybe one day we will receive that from the world because we so believe in the fact that give and take and um, oh yeah, that give and take has a charm of its own, where all these dispersed ingredients somehow hit each other at some point and, pleasantly speaking, create a wonderful creation, a wonderful spiritual collage that will always make us feel happy when we turn to give it a second look and weigh our options, even if we'll have it for the rest of our lives. Every time we encounter it, it's all about weighing our options and doing something about it. So it's very exciting, never boring. So I wanted to say thank you for listening. Thank you for being patient. I didn't plan on really reading and together with you actually putting things together and seeing how it works and reciting it for you. Uh, with my broken ability to read and to um, but the eloquent part of it is in the essence of what the words mean. So again, thank you for your patience and your attention. And we're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this afternoon of Tuesday, February 25th, year 2025. Here with the Hello Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi. Continuing with the tradition of public access and even more so, adding directly, intentionally, purposely, adamantly into the concept uh, so crucial for the longevity of this process called, in this reality called public access. God bless, keep up the good spirits. Don't be a stranger. We got wonderful art here at any given time. Different groups of artists for the last 28 years, and that I had the honor and the privilege to curate. So don't be a stranger, and wanted to let you know that we appreciate you because we know you are there doing your best as we're doing our best here. One, one. Call Leah.
Calling Leah M. Mobile.
Call Leah.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person
and just kind of a little bit tired. Everything is okay.
So, let's see.
So you see, I pressed this, and then it says loading,
Uploading 100%. All right.
So I don't know what the nature of the beast is there.
No, and then it goes back down for a second.
Yeah, but I go there to see on this guy. It's I got to this stage and I said, you know what, I'm not futzing around with it. Was anything changed in the system in general?
No. No, it was not. Well, here is the 225, 12 to 1525. Let's see what happened with our recordings.
No luck, huh?
1 hour ago. I'm not going to say that yet. It says uploading is complete. Some tracks are still processing or uploading. You can download available files. Click OK. Let's see. So it looks like uploaded 99%. Going to go toggle to LTV guest and see if that does a better job for you.
Also, if you can have it ready for me in the morning, it's 8:30. I have a guest, so it'd be nice to know it's working.
Well,
it happened in the past that it was stuck on 99, and then it came. It was okay, but.
all right. I say we just let it run for a bit. That's all I really have on this. I'm going to make sure you maybe forget the other network that it's meant to be on. Forget this network. Zero in on this network. I'll have better connections. Okay.
So is it going to be okay for tomorrow?
I don't know. I can't tell you yet.
Okay.
Until I understand this a little bit more, I can't tell you yet. But yeah, I don't know. That's what this is. This is a different thing. I don't know why it's doing this. It's still saying 99%. Well, uploading 100%. Going back to 99. And it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, so is it incomplete upload? Well, I'll have a look at it.
Yeah,
I'll send you a text. That's all I got.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Anyway, I enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
You know,
I got it.
I kind of storytelling poetry that caters itself to you. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
I'll see you
So
soon.
text me just so I know, because if not, then I won't take a chance for tomorrow. We'll see.
It's a good idea.
Okay, good night.
Good night.